Hi, this is Captain Eddie Castellan. You've been wondering how to reverse that mini lathe you have? Well, if you've got a Jet Mini, I can tell you how. All you need to do is watch. Go to the Ace Hardware on the corner by your house. I got one on the corner of my house. This is a double pole, double throw switch, center off. You don't need to center off. If it just double pole to one side, double pole to the other, and doesn't have a center off, you're okay. It's a usable switch. This is made by a nice firm called Mexico. And it's high quality. But hey, double pole, double throw switch. And again, if you don't have a variable speed DC motor on your lathe, like a Jet 1014, 1221, the 12, whatever, if you don't have a variable speed DC motor on your lathe, you cannot do this. Alright, now, we have the switch. We have a handy box. This is a simple handy box. I need a connector in each end. Okay? Put them in, get it set up. I need a cover. This started out as a blank cover. I took a step drill and drilled a hole in it for that to fit through. You got it? So the switch goes in it. Now one day in the future, you're going to write FWD and REV. Those are abbreviations for four-wheel drive and revolutions in Lathe. No, it means forward and reverse, okay? Now, we have this. Before we cut any cables, what I want you to do, this is very important. See this end of the cord that came out of the wall for your lathe? I want you to take this end of the cord and I want you to put it in your left pants pocket. Okay? That's critical. If you can't do that, don't continue. Put it in your left pants pocket. Then, this is a cable with that funny end. It looks like it goes to a computer. You know that end? Yeah, you can buy extension cords for this. But this is that funny end like a computer. This is the one we're going to cut. Now make sure where you plug it into your motor that you've got room to put this J-box. Now, how can you mount this J-box? Well, I'm a great fan of these J&K rare earth magnet pads. You see this thing? It's got a screw through the middle of it. I have them all over the place. That's my drill bit case. It sticks to my drill press. That easy. So it won't fall on the floor and spill. Well, you can take one of those and put it on the back of this block. Or you can just take a regular rare earth magnet of any kind, any shape, any one you want. I got one up here right now. I'm going to get off of this saw. This came out of a disc player. Put that on the back of it. That'll stick to your lathe bed. Okay? Or, before you close it up, you can run a screw in it and screw it to the table, the bracket at the end. Don't screw it to this. Okay? Because there's too many parts inside that you can damage. So, we're ready. We're going to cut a cable. This is a cable that goes to the motor. Remember the funny end. Again, if you do not have a 12-volt variable speed motor on that lathe, you cannot do this. Now, what I'm going to do, because I got plenty of room in this thing, I'm going to cut right through this. Wow, see that? Now I need a jumper that's about 3 inches long. So I'm going to cut another one right out of the middle of it. Okay? Then I'm going to strip the insulation off the end of this. Well, that isn't going to work, is it? I'm going to go over here and get a utility knife. And you don't want to cut any of the conductors inside or the covers of the conductors inside. Okay, so gently, if you bend it, it stresses it, and you can see when you cut through it. Alright? You're going to do this to both ends of that cord. Now, Again, I say, if you do not have a variable speed motor, you cannot do this. You can't. Now, while we're talking, while I'm stripping this, I'll explain something to you. You also can't put a variable speed on a capacitor grade motor. I can normally do that. Must be a puny day. This wire reads to be an 18 gauge wire. Now, before I get to where we're going to strip it and put connectors on it, you will need some terminal posts for this. These are insulated terminal ring posts. They were also available at the Ace Hardware store. These are blue. That's important to you because blue means 14 to 16 gauge. 14 to 16 gauge wire. This wire was marked 16 gauge. Pardon me. Fortunately, in this package, we get 10 pieces. Plenty enough. You can make mistakes and still come away all right. We're going to strip the ends off of the white and the green on both sides. And then we're going to install some rings. And we're going to pull the wire out of this little piece and put some rings on two of those also. Alright? If you have put two rings on a black and white on the wire coming out of the controller, two rings on the black and white for the wire going to this end, right, and you've created your two black and white jumpers, taken the green and put one end on it, just one, then you've got all the parts together. Now, let me tell you how this is going to work. We're going to take the end that comes in from the controller and we're going to put it on one side, black on one side, white on the other, right here. Okay? Then we're going to take the cable that goes to the lathe. We're going to put it in the center. And then we're going to have a jumper go from across, crisscross it. I'm going to put them together and show you how they look. And then I'll put a picture up that you can look at in still life. Now, as I make this last connection, I want you to follow along. The black is on the far side. I'm going to cross over and put the black on the near side, and then I'm going to put one from the controller there. Okay? Boy, this is working with this and trying to get a good shot is difficult. What I'm doing is causing a crisscross. And the crisscross is important because this lets me take and change the direction of the motor. I've taken what was running to this side of the switch and put it on that side of the switch. You got it? I'm going to do the same thing over here. This side of the switch to that side of the switch. Same thing. It's hard for you to see, but I'm taking all the grounds and putting them on one terminal. All the green, the two that I cut, and the jumper I made with the lead on it. And then I'm going to cut this end off with the connector so that it's just like a butt splice. That's my 3 grounds. We put the controller back on the lathe. Now with the ones that are mounted permanently on there in a little swing door, you don't have to take it off. Just sit down next to the lathe to get comfortable, but forget that goes in your left pocket when you start working on it. This part. Now it's time to plug it back in. Let's plug back in, everything's clear. I can spin the lathe. That is spinning in reverse. Center is off. That is spinning in forward. And is the full range of variable speed included in it. We just did it, but we're not done because I want to show you on a sketch what happened in case you got confused. I know I am. I forgot the junction box. For those of you who work with sketches better and can follow the line, here's a controller. One cable coming in, 3 lines. There's your motor. One cable coming out, 3 lines. When it comes in, I'm going to take the black to one side, the red to the other, which looks purple in your shot. Black and red to this side. Then I'm going to put a jumper to put the black around to the far side and a red around to the near side. So I've got black and red here, red and black over here. From the motor, it's just going to be a red, a black, and all the greens get tied together in junction box and ground to the junction box. That's an important feature, don't forget that. Tie the greens together and get them to the J box. Now when you throw the switch this way, you're going to have red to red, black to black. When you throw it that way, you're going to have red to black, black to red. That'll reverse your polarity. Well, there you go. It's a simple method of reversing the polarity of the motor. And again, if you do not have a 12-volt DC motor with the controller like I showed you a minute ago, you can't do this. If you've got a capacitor start motor on your lathe, you can't do this. If you've got an old fogey lathe with an old motor with a capacitor sitting on top of it, you can't do this. And you also cannot put a variable speed on that lathe. You'll burn it up, or you'll burn up the capacitor. Now, I think that's just about enough of this fooling around with electricity I want to do today. And if I can help you, give me a call or whatever. And oh yeah, you can call me at this number right here. And that's the only way you'll be able to order this. Yep. Oh, I got to show you that a little bit closer. Now if you're interested in one of these rigs, pretty simple. I can only do it by telephone orders only. Now you can pay by PayPal, but I'll send you an invoice by PayPal. But I need some information. That's why telephone orders only, and I have to be very explicit about the information I need, and I need you to be clear when you give it to me. What I need to know when you order this: what's the diameter of that post on your tool rest? Because this captive ball rig fits in your tool rest. And what is the overall length from the bottom of your tool rest to the very top of the platform? From the bottom of the tool rest to the top of the platform. That, on this one, this one way, is 6 1/2 inches. And that's 1 inch. But I need to know what is on your lathe, because this system is going to be built especially for you. I'm going to put the post on after you order it. I'm going to assemble the bars and adjust it for the cutter bar. It's going to come with one cutter bar with the cutter inserted for positive cutting, unless you tell me differently when you order it. For positive cutting means the cutter bar is going to be inserted, or the cutter, for it to cut on this side. Suppose you get it and you change your mind. What do? You warm it up with a little bit of heat, you take super glue, remove the cutter, turn it over and put it back in using super glue, and you have got a reversed cutter. It's just that simple. And by the way, and I'll do a YouTube on this, you can also clean up this cut with the regular 1/2 inch bar and an 18 millimeter or a 16 millimeter or whatever on that bar to smooth out the surface, if you choose to. You don't have to. You might really like this cut. This is one of the original cutters and original cutting techniques developed by David Ellsworth 20 plus years ago. It's a real simple system. It works great. The captive bar is going to keep it from flipping around in your hand. And if you like it, orders are $100 for the combination. That's the bar, the cutter, and the tool rest on a Postmate for your lathe for $100 plus freight to wherever you live. Now for most Americans, that's $11.30. So if you're interested, give me a call. Until then, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan, and the lathe is calling, because guess what? It's time to go back to making shavings. I do love this rig. I do. Oh, when it gets hard to slide, I just spit on it. You know, as nice as this cuts, I'm taking this puppy paper thin. I really am.